Hello adventurers, my name is GM Dan and today we are going to be talking about town and city encounters. When I created this map pack, I wanted a couple of things. I wanted to create variations of the different businesses, lots of different businesses, but variations of each of them and how they look and how they feel. And I wanted to create different ways you're able to see them. And let me explain a little bit about that. When I first started this map pack, I did a ton of research on what type of businesses or housing there would be available in a typical, even small medieval town. And some of the things that I came across were, of course, your typical, let's start in a tavern or something like that, which is classic D&D, right? But there's other things where, of course, you want to have a blacksmith and you want to have maybe a barracks for guards, the crazy alchemist, cartographers, maybe even restaurants, things like that. So I have quite a few different types of businesses that will be able to be placed in any particular campaign, whether they're relevant or not, but they're able to be used to the advantage of the GM. And that was really important to me to make sure that whether I use them or not, other people could be able to use them, because there's tons of ways to use these. One of the other things I wanted to do is I wanted to create a way to show that financial status was an important piece of what it means to be in a medieval or feudal society. I've created several of the same or similar types of buildings using stone floor, wood floor, or even dirt floor. And while that may not seem like a big difference, visually it actually makes a huge difference. And when you place your characters in the environment, and I've done this a bunch of times now, it really creates a massive difference in how your characters react to what type of restaurant or barracks, or what style they feel like they're in, what type of financial status they feel like they're in. And it makes a big difference on how your PCs will react in those situations. One of the other things I want to do is I didn't want to just have one type of barracks or one type of restaurant or one type of tavern. I wanted to create several different types of the same thing. So you can choose from around 3 different styles of each type of restaurant or barracks or whatever. But the important thing was I wanted you to have the choice to be able to choose something different, so that your last session doesn't feel like this session or the next session. You need to have that different feeling for each session, and one of the ways I've done that is by applying different layouts to the different businesses. Some of the businesses or housing it's got an L shape, some of it has a T shape, some of it's rectangular or square, different sizes. Again, these things aren't big deals, but when you start to put the different pieces together, and whether this table goes here or that door goes there or whatever the case, it makes a big deal to the players having not seen that specific housing before. One of the things that was really important to me was making sure that even though I had ideas in how I wanted to use different town and city buildings, that the various GMs that were going to use it would be able to create their own. And of course I've got different tokens and things to place into the map packs, which I've used in my map pack already. But in case that the GM wanted to create their own, I've created an unfurnished map pack associated with the town and city map pack. And you're able to place your own things in to create your own unique things, to create your own unique businesses. And I think that's really important, because I've made the main buildings and main businesses that make sense, main things that in most encounters and most campaigns that I've found useful. However, there are things that you may have found useful in your campaigns, and I just didn't want to be so presumptuous to assume that all the things that I use, you were going to use. But so you can create your own, essentially. I made sure that unique pieces were generated for each of the buildings. Some of the details that I think were really important are, you know, we don't have it today because we have closets, but bedside chests were really important during that time. It's not that they had really, you know, amazing treasure or anything like that. They would keep clothes or something like that. But having those little details and having a candle at the bedside, those types of things I think are really important and really place the player into the scene, and really it becomes immersive at that point. Also, not that this is exactly a fantasy pack, it could be used for other things. I really love how old housing, it had the cowboy feeling with horses and mules and things like that. So outside of the houses, you've got places where people keep their horses, and you could put carts and things like that. So that was part of the design that would make it feel like a real town. And I think it's really successful when you end up putting it all together. I'll put the links down below, but you can find this on RPG Drive-Thru or Roll20. I also have a printed version of this on Etsy. Again, in the links down below, you'll find that stuff. Also, if you have used this pack before, I'd love to see screenshots. Feel free to tag me on social media. If you like this video, please press the subscribe button. Would love to have your feedback and keep you coming back and see some more of my map packs. As always, keep rolling.